My name is Julie Lefebvre, and I'm a scientist at the Hospital for Sick Children. I study neuroscience, which is the science of understanding how the nervous system works. So neuroscience is a big field with many different scientists who are approaching different levels of the brain. We're interested in understanding the genes and then how they give rise to particular nerve cells and give rise to circuits. Which genes are turned on during development? Which genes are important for the function of particular cells? In addition to understanding at the level of genes, there are other neuroscientists who are specifically studying the electrical activities, and there are other neuroscientists who are studying at the level of the behavior. Which part of the neural circuit can you manipulate, and how does that affect the behavior? Because what we want to know is how the wiring diagram of the neural circuit is organized and what it regulates, what's its function, what particular task in the brain is it computing. This also requires many neuroscientists who are using computational approaches, who are using big data approaches, which means that they want to be able to model how the work of many neural circuits that are active at the same time doing their jobs, how that is integrated and then gives rise to many neural networks. So the advances of neuroscience come from collaboration, because we need to bring neuroscientists who are studying from the level of genes and individual cells to function, computation, and big data. So we collaborate extensively with either clinician scientists who work with children or with computational scientists who then can either take our genomic data or our large data on the neural cell types that we study in order to have a better understanding of how these nerve cells are organized and work together. I study neuroscience, and I continue to do neuroscience research because I'm very interested in understanding how the brain works. It is the most complex organ in our body. Not only does it do very sophisticated computations, but it's also the most complex piece of tissue. It has the most diverse types of nerve cells, and they have very different patterns of connections, they have very different functions, and so I really want to understand how this diversity of cell types comes about during development and how they make very specific patterns of connectivity, and how it's these patterns of connectivity that then gives rise to this very sophisticated organ that we call the brain. Every day I'm excited to come into lab to understand more about how these neurons grow during development, either over multiple days or over hours, and we can see in time how these nerve cells grow as a tree grows, and we can also identify who they're making connections with. And it's this understanding of how neurons grow and make very specific patterns of connections that is really fundamental to understanding how the brain is organized and how it works, and I think will make really important contributions into a more targeted approach in therapies, in helping individuals with brain disorders, but also with a better appreciation about how these neural circuits work.